Into today's mailbag, a super thanks to kick things off here from Bloodslinger, who just said thanks. It was in reference to the Linval Joseph signing. Appreciate that, Bloodslinger. As a reminder, you can super chat on live shows. Super thanks is the on-demand version of it. You can edit your message, send in whatever you want to send in. If you send one in, as long as it's not doing an ism, but even if it says Tom, you suck, we'll show it on the show. Because we appreciate your support, even if it is just you paying your rent because you're a hater. Looking at you, Eagles fans. Hit those super thanks, and we'll give you some shout-outs on the show. From Tyler C. Madden, says Trey Lance and Brandin Cooks in exchange for Jordan Addison. Thoughts? Oh, it's a fun idea. The Cowboys win that trade. They trade Trey Lance, who they sent a 4th-round pick for, and Brandin Cooks, who they sent what amounts to a 5th-round pick for a former 1st-round pick in Jordan Addison, who was very good in his first year. I would do it. There's no way the Vikings do it. Now, Addison's got his off-field stuff he's got to get figured out because, it's a really bad look and a really bad action overall. And I guess I'll throw the allegedly on here. After your teammate dies in a drunk driving accident, for then you to go out and do drunk driving yourself. Like, that's just stupid. I don't even know if you want that guy off-field stuff, because I think there's... And then also, by the way, post a Instagram or story of you having mimosas like two days later. Read the room, buddy. Come on. Not a good look at all. Talented football player. Makes your team better. I doubt the Vikings would even consider it because they're not... Trey Lance doesn't... By the way, Trey Lance does not help Minnesota. We know that, right? Sam Darnold's going to start. J.J. McCarthy is their future. Trading for an older, worse receiver and a number 2 QB for their 1st-round pick receiver doesn't make any sense. F. Lamb. Tom, could the Cowboys' strategy for CeeDee be 1, don't pay him this year, make him plan his last year, 2, franchise tag him next year for 2025, then again in 2026, or release if production goes way down, sign him for a 3-year deal if the production is good? So as I told F. Lamb, if that is the Cowboys' plan, they are stupid. Because it doesn't make any sense. If you are already offering Lamb just under $33 million per year, why would you be trying to haggle and hope that you save money because he plays worse? Because that's actually what you're doing. And the biggest issue I have with this here is you have salary cap issues if you don't pay anybody. Because you're eating the big dead cap hit with Dak Prescott. You're paying Lamb $18 million on the salary cap in 2024, $25 million almost in 2025, and $30 million in 2026, with zero flexibility in how you manage your salary cap because you can't restructure that money. If you are paying a vastly more expensive premium in actual cash you will pay out if you pay him 3 years later, because who here thinks Lamb isn't going to be a superstar player? And if you don't think that, you shouldn't be offering what you're offering him anyway. And then you can't structure it and backload that money and push it off in the future. You actually limit your ability to do other things if you franchise tag Lamb. You can pay him right now and pay him drastically less the next 3 years than a franchise tag option. Just a bad idea. So do you want to extend CeeDee Lamb? Type Y for yes, N for no. I think it's a yes, right? Sound off, Y for yes, N for no, the pin comment of today's show. Zeno saying, $2 super chat. Over, under, Zeke, 850 yards and 10 TDs. I take the over. You can talk me into the touches. You can get so much work in the red zone and short yardage. I can get on board with the touchdowns part. How many yards per carry do we think Zeke's going to average this upcoming season? Seriously, how many? Because if it's back at that 3.8, 3.9, even if it's just 4 yards per carry, you have to give him 200 carries to get there. 200 plus, pretty comfortably, actually. I think that would... I don't like that idea. So I'm taking the under on yards pretty easily. From Massive Matt, $10 super chat. I will crash out if Lamb isn't signed. Not often you get someone that good at his age. Being a fan of this team is so tiresome. Can't wait for them to do this to Micah, too. You do know what they're going to do to Micah, right? It's the exact same thing, and they're going to take that leadership quotes he's made and put it right back in his face, which isn't exactly fair. He also walked right into it. He has set himself up for this because they're not going to offer fair market. They never do. When was the last time the Cowboys quickly and urgently offered top-of-the-market money? That's not how they operate. If you want to take less, they'll do it with you. Micah already says the market's going to be at about $40 million per year. He's probably right. So what are you going to do then? God, does Steve want to pay that? They're going to do it to Micah next year. But with Lamb, there's just no excuse. All-pro player, young player, premium position. You need that type of offensive playmaker, whether you have Dak Prescott or you're rebuilding with a new QB. Doesn't make any sense outside of the Cowboys are being dumb again. Now, you should not be dumb, and you should start playing Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, over 5 million active members. A lot of people love it, but you don't have to beat all those people. You just have to beat the numbers, more or less, on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch your winnings roll in. You can win 100 times your money up to on Prize Picks with little as 4 correct picks. That's $10 into $1,000. It's just picking the stat projections. More than, less than, in season. It's total season long Prize Picks options as well for football. I got Joe Burrow passing yards, Trevor Lawrence more than passing yards, Dak Prescott more than passing yards. If they stay healthy, they're going to play great. And they're going to crush those figures. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on prizepicks.com/CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Ecuador man says, Tom, get Renz. He was making fun of Flournoy. I'll find it. I don't know if he tweeted it or said it on the show, but it's coming from a place of hurt because Ryan Flournoy smoked Jack Jones. That's why he's feeling bad about it. Ian Burns, in a few years, if Deuce is gone and never worked out anywhere, he's got to be a Cowboys legend Hall of Famer. Yes. Eventually, Ezekiel Elliott will be in the Cowboys Ring of Honor, like the actual Ring of Honor. And when that happens, I will induct Deuce Vaughn into the Cowboys legend Ring of Honor. Because you're right. You're absolutely right if he doesn't actually materialize in anything good. Busch Gardens fan says, bring back Randy. Don't want to. He might retire, by the way. Like, I don't want to add him. Like, I don't think that's a good path because we've been down that road and the bridge has been burnt. I don't think you don't even need an edge right now, by the way. Retro Gleesh, we need Shedeur Sanders. So, in general, and this can go for Shedeur Sanders, go for Carson Beck, go for Quinn Ewers, insert any QB here. If you think that guy is going to be your next top 10, top 5 franchise caliber QB, and he plays like that to help make you justify that as your opinion there, that guy's going to go top 10, right? So how are you probably picking him in the top 25, picking the mid to late 20s? How are you going to get that top 5 pick? And if they are available for you, did they play well enough to make you think they're the franchise guy? This exact scenario is why I wanted the Cowboys to make up their mind. They should know by now if Dak Prescott is their quarterback for 2025. And if he is, they should have paid him. And if he's not, they should be playing Trey Lance all year, see if he's good. And if he's not, then you're picking top 5 probably, or picking top 10. And you can take that premium QB draft pick. What I don't want to have happen is you play just like the way we think they're going to. They're going to win 10 games. They'll win maybe one playoff game, depending on who they draw. And they'll get bounced before the conference championship game, head coach out of a contract, quarterback out of a contract, picking in the 24s, having no idea who the hell their quarterback's going to be and how they're going to get one. You can't trade Dak Prescott. He's a free agent. And as a no-tag clause, too. You've made your bed, and you're in danger of lying in it in a really bad spot. From Timothy Champagne. Is that Timothy Chambly's cousin or something? Or is it like I don't know. Will there be a surprise extension before the season? Osa. If there is one, that would be a very good name. But I doubt it. They don't want to spend money. Honestly, even if they wanted to pay Osa Odighizuwa, I don't think you could, having not paid CeeDee Lamb right now. I think that the narrative angle is probably too much of a negative one there. So I don't know if anyone gets paid. It should be at least one with CeeDee Lamb, or I'm going to lose my mind. But before the season starts, week 1, how many players will Dallas end up extending? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Ecuador man, it was on a live stream, said 2 cups and Flournoy. All right, it's fine. Whatever. Look, the Raiders are going to be bad this year. I will let Mitch cope however he needs to. Clayton, Jerry purchased the Cowboys for $149 million and turned into a team worth $10+ billion. So what incentive does he have to change his ways of doing things? We're stuck with JJ. Yeah, you are not wrong. Like, they have wins, and they also win games. They're relevant. They get attention every year. They're not win at all costs because they like the costs that they get. From Jenkins Gaming, trade Mozzie for Devon Achane. Your thoughts? I mean, I'd do it, but the Dolphins aren't doing it. Devon Achane was awesome last year for Miami. They love the speed in the backfield. Now, they need defensive tackle help too, but they're not going to. I don't think the Dolphins say yes. I don't think that they would do that. Walter Smith, what is your nightmare scenario this year? We know the good is actual playoff success. I think, like, looking ahead to 2012, I kind of mentioned it when I went on my rant about not having a QB, picking 24. I think, like, in-season nightmare scenario is, remember how the last time the NFL team had the head coach and the quarterback not under contract, and they started the year hot, and then they all kind of fell apart, and it turned from we into me? That is my concern in season. That if the Cowboys hit some adversity in October, November, whenever, and you have set up an organizational structure where nobody's under contract, none of the coaching staff is really of note, the highly paid players, like the players who you could not feasibly move on from in a release, are basically fifth-year option for Micah Parsons, who you could trade, obviously, pretty comfortably. Tyler Guyton, Marshawn Nealon, Mozzie Smith, and, like, that's it. Those are the only guys you couldn't actually cut. And what could happen, the downside is, it goes from it's all about us, it's about the team, it's about we, and it turns into it's about me. I got to look out for number one, because I don't know what's going to happen here. I got to take care of myself first, because I got no security from my employer. And that's how it goes from it's about we, it's about me real quick. It's very natural for a human to do that. That's the downside you're facing when you set up this prove-it year for everybody on the roster, basically, and the coaching staff, too. I want you guys to predict the Cowboys' record then for me in 2024. Drop that record prediction in the comments of today's show. From Carter, how do you feel about the upcoming halfback draft? Big fan of Ollie Gordon. Yeah, Ollie Gordon got to figure out that DUI thing there. But I think you got a good class. 2 Ohio State kids, Quinshon Judda kids, Travion Henderson, Ashton Jeanty at Boise State's super nice too. Omarion Hampton at North Carolina. There's a lot of good players in that backfield class. So you will be able to find one if you want to. Round 1, round 2, round 3 next year pretty easily. Matthew Weibrink, how do you feel about trading Brock Hoffman for a quality running back or DT, assuming Bass could play center? I think he could. I think BB starts in that scenario. I would wonder if around the league, you'd have a better chance of finding interest in TJ Bass as opposed to Brock Hoffman. Hoffman's been more of a journeyman. He wasn't, as quick of a find by Dallas as the Bass as a UDFA in that same year. I get a bit hesitant trading away offensive linemen because it's tough to find guys that are competent. And you might want those guys next year if Zach Martin decides to call it a career and hang up and retire. I would almost be more comfortable trading away one of my day 3 draft picks. Like, I got all these 5th and 6th. Let me offer you one of those, and I'll keep Bass and Hoffman instead, especially for a back. All right, don't miss any Cowboys Report YouTube video, folks. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. Retro Gleese, if we had Romo at QB the year we had Amari, CeeDee, and Zeke, we'd have a ring. But would you? Because I actually don't think you do. Because I'll go on a bit of a rant here. The Cowboys and Romo and Dak era Cowboys, they're the same team, by the way. We do know that, right? The same negatives we're saying about Dak Prescott were often used against Tony Romo. I remember. I saw it. I saw Romo have an even better team in that Minnesota Vikings blowout playoff loss. Wasn't all the QB's fault either, by the way. Joseph Thomas, last one. Hey, Tom, and everyone in the studio, how are you guys doing? Hope everything is well for you guys and go Cowboys. Thanks you, Joseph. It's very kind of you. Appreciate that.